Hi there, very good evening to everyone. Today we have a special guest on this topic, quantity surveying and Middle East job market, Mr. Firnaz. And thank you very much for joining us from all over the world to B-TIC Talks on Sunday evening. Every Sunday evening we have sessions like this in different areas. Tonight it is about quantity surveying because we see there is a huge market and a huge crowd, huge number of students are flooding into Middle East to find jobs, and there is a huge demand for these courses as well to study before they leave the country. So we thought of getting a special guest and an expert, an authority here to give us the right first-hand information. So that's why that's the result of this interview tonight. And I don't need to introduce Firnaz, 19 years of experience in the field, a civil engineer, and he's a chartered surveyor, ICS, an RICS fellow member, certified cost professional, and worked in the Middle East for about 20 years, 20 years of experience. And we'll see what he has tonight for us. Firnaz, it's up to you now. Over to you.
All right. Thank you, Hazir. I would like to welcome you all. Thank you for joining with us in this special session today. The title is the Quantity Surveying and the Middle East Job Opportunities or the job markets. So, I mean, it's the quantity surveying profession is well spoken across the globe, especially in the Middle East, as you all know. So we thought to deliver a short session. It's kind of an awareness and introduction session so that the guests who are joining with us can understand what is the quantity surveying in the broad spectrum, and also, I mean, what are the job opportunities in the Middle East, especially. All right, let me start. I think if you can't understand me, or if there's any issues in my audio and video or the speaking, please let us know. And if you don't see the screen in between, also please let us know. I think you all can see my screen. This is the overview of today's session, basically. First of all, we need to understand what is quantity survey, which we will explain it in detail. I mean, there are misconceptions in the quantity surveys. Many people think that, it's just quantity surveys are just a quantity takeoff guys and prepare BOQ preparation chaps. All right, so that's not the real fact. So when we explain it in detail, you will understand why quantity surveying is highly demand in this industry. And then we'll talk about the opportunities, job opportunities, especially in the Middle East. But I will focus today the KSA market, the Saudi Arabia market, because as you all know that, the Saudi Arabia construction industry is skyrocket now, extremely booming. So the professionals are trying to move to KSA to excel their careers. So we will talk a little bit more about these job opportunities today, and we will also give you some sort of tips and the tricks so that you can prepare well to foothold in this market. Then the most important part of this today's session is also to understand the quantity survey and their competencies. So what sort of skill sets we should have so that we can excuse me, we can perform quantity surveying, and also we can get the better job in the Middle East market. Then we also need to understand how to acquire the academic qualifications and also the professional qualifications. So people might think that if you have a degree, it's enough, but that's not enough. That's what we are going to emphasize it today. In order to penetrate in this market and also to get a better job opportunities, you need to enhance your professional qualifications and the skills. And then you all can expect that, okay, what B-TICs can do for us to enhance our career. And to get the our the dream jobs in the market. So we have a set of programs we are planning in the future. So we'll also explain about that one. And the last is the question and answers. It's an open question and answers. You can ask any questions related to these subject matters so that we can answer it. Okay, right. So let's understand what is quantity survey. What is quantity survey and what the quantity surveys do, basically. You all know that quantity surveys are more expert in the estimations, preparing the BOQs, and quantity takeoffs. That's not only the role the quantity surveys perform in this industry. So we all need to understand that quantity surveys quantity surveys have a the pivotal role in different aspects and the competencies. Okay, quantity surveys and estimators, we all know that they always do the estimation, they prepare the estimations, and also they prepare the BOQs, takeoffs, and all. Quantity surveys sometimes also perform like an appraisers, the valuers. Okay, they do the valuations of the existing assets in terms of the cost, and also they support to the employers to take a decisions of an existing assets management. So that's also another sectors where the quantity surveys role is significantly important. Quantity surveys are the cost estimators, so we know that one, and also they are controlling the cost of the projects and the assets as well. So if you talk about the construction sectors or construction industries, quantity surveys always control the cost of the constructions. Okay, not only that, if you talk about the asset perspective, the quantity surveys are controlling the cost of the assets. So they are always involving in the asset management life cycles. And quantity surveys are the procurement specialist also. They are involving in the tenderings, entire tender cycles, and they do a lot of contribution to the procurement cycles of the constructions tenders. Not only the contractors tenders, they also involve significant efforts to prepare the and involved in the procurement of the consultants and other stakeholders as well. Not only these all roles, the quantity surveys are also a contract administrators. They administer the construction contract, even the professional services agreement, and the other agreements of the stakeholders within the projects. So their involvements basically also like administrators of the contracts, and also they are administering constructions contracts as well. So we will talk a little bit more in the future sessions. What is the contract administrator's role? In brief, in nutshell, we can say that they are administering the parties' contracts within the projects. The quantity surveys is also the claims specialist. So I'm sure that most of you are joined here have a certain level of experience in the quantity surveying. But those who are not in this field, so I can simply say that in the construction projects, there are claims expected due to the various circumstances. So once the contractors or the consultants or any other parties involving in the projects may raise a claims. So that needs to be dealt and determined in terms of that specific contracts. So the contractors contracts, not only the contractors contracts, but also the other agreements and the contracts as well. So the quantity surveys should be well versed also in the claim side. So they should know the types of the claims, they should know how to assess the claims or how to evaluate the claims, and also they should know how to determine and recommend the claims to their employers. Okay, so these are the major roles of the quantity surveys, especially in the Middle East. And also you can see the titles of the quantity surveys. So you might have seen there are a lot of job opportunities in the LinkedIn's or the other platforms where you could see they call for a quantity surveys in some firms. In some firms, say the construction estimators, cost managers, commercial managers, contracts managers, claim managers. Different titles will define the scope of works of each professionals. So basically, if you start from the first line, it's basically the normal QS role. And when it goes further down, it's more specific and specialized roles in this industry. Right. So now we all are more excited to know what's happening in the Middle East, especially in the Saudi market, how the market is being boomed so far, and what other opportunities we may avail in the future if we enter as a quant service. So I can just point out some of the giga projects in Saudi Arabia. So I've listed a few, but if you Google, you could see there are a lot of projects ongoing. Apart from this small list, and also there are future projects are in pipeline, which is expected to be commenced in the future. So the first one is the NEOM projects, which is an amazing projects. That's kind of a model for a sustainable livings and working and prospering. So if you just Google it, you can see the project scope and more details about that NEOM projects. That's one of the projects, one of the biggest projects, I could say that, and its the value is 500 billion US dollar. So you can see the extent of the projects and the quantum that the industry needs the professionals to support this NEOM projects. Similar to the NEOM, there are Red Sea projects and Amala projects. These are also the tourism related projects in the KSA. As you can understand that the Saudi Arabia is slightly moving their vision, they call it the 2030 visions, to attract more tourism in the future. Not only just depends on their oil revenue. Okay, so that's the main intention to create is all giga projects. Diriyah Gates is one of the giga projects that's also associated with the tourism, but they mostly retain the Saudi heritage, and then they leave that as a tourist place for others to come and appreciate the Saudi heritage and the cultures. Qiddiya is another project that's also entertainment, sports, and arts projects. That's also one of the giga projects. Similar to that, because of the increasing demands, the governments created the housing projects for the residents and citizens in the kingdom. So that's called Roshan. The 7 is the Saudi Entertainment's venture projects. That's also a kind of an entertainment projects. So so we listed the projects. So how quantity surveys will get an opportunity, or how they get opportunity to enter into this markets. So as you know that if there is a project, there are several parties involved, right? The first one is the developers or the clients or the employees we call. Say if you take an example of a NEOM, and the NEOM is the developers. So that's under Public Investment Fund of the Kingdom. Okay, the NEOM is the developers. Under the developers, there are several parties involved in order to perform the project. So there are consultants, different types of consultants involving in the projects. So various types of consultants, project management consultants, supervision consultants, and other specialized consultants, including the design as well. So each party need quantity service. So that's the prime focus here. So you are not only going to get a job in the contractor side, but also you will have an opportunity to excel your career in the other parties as well, like consultants, or if you get an opportunity with the NEOM straight away as the developers, yes, it's also a good opportunity. So, I mean, just considering the extent of the project and the parties involved, you will have multiple opportunities to get the jobs in the market. So this is just only one project. Even this 500 billion has been split into many packages, different areas, where again, the opportunities are multiplied. Same like NEOM, you can get Red Sea, Amala, and the other projects as well. So in contrast, you can get a job opportunity in the developer side, you can get a job opportunities in the consultant side, and also you can get job opportunities in the contractors and the subcontractors as well. So it's a vast area. If you Google it, you can see the various job opportunities for each projects in the platforms like LinkedIn and the other recruiting platforms. Okay, but is it easy to get a job in this market? That's the question actually. So we as a quantity service, we should be well qualified in terms of academic and the professionals skills. Okay, so that's what now we are going to talk about a bit more, how to prepare ourselves in order to enter in these markets. Okay, so as quantity surveys, as we said, they have a different roles in the industry. There are, the core or the technical competencies the quantity surveyor should be well versed, so that you can increase your professional qualification, and also you can perform well in the industry. The quantity surveys, say for an example, if you are a quantity surveyor, if we need to prepare the estimations, or if we need to prepare a BOQ, first of all, we need to understand the scope or the technical contents on which we need to prepare the documents. In order to understand those technical contents, or to prepare a BOQ, or to do the takeoff, we need to understand the designs and the drawings, where the construction technology is critical. I would say that. I mean, it's not just quantity surveys can be a quantity survey, just learning the other skills, but also you should be very thorough in the construction technologies. So if you receive a document, or if you receive a drawings, you need to understand what the drawing says, how you can get the quantities of each disciplines. So for that's the prime focus that the quantity survey should be aware. Then the contract practice. So you also need to understand, this has the details, this has a well detailed informations, which we can talk in the other sessions. Probably we are planning some other sessions in the future to focus on these all skill sets and the competencies, so that we will discuss it in detail. I can give you a brief introductions of each competency, so that you can understand what exactly. The contract practices basically covers the types of the contracts and also the components within it. So you also need to understand how many types of the contracts are there. So now how you can prepare the contracts documents, and what are the components in the documents, and how the payment term says, what is payment terms mean, and how do we pay to the contractors and the consultant, depends on their the contracts or the agreements, and so on. Okay, so we also need to understand that competencies as well. Then we should be thorough in the tenderings and the procurement. Procurement is a term, it's not the purchasing here we call, it's a tendering. Normally we call it a procurement. Okay, so we need to understand the entire procurement cycle of a project. Then we can perform well in that areas as well. Because if you go as a quantity service, it does not mean that you will just only do the takeoffs. There are certain extents where you need to be a procurement specialist. All right, so if you want to excel your career in the procurement specialist, you need to be thorough and well-versed in this competencies. And the financial controls and the reporting, you need to be expert in the budgetings, how to control it and how to report it, because the clients need a report from the quantity surveys. What's going on so far? How is the budget? How is the expenditures? How much they left over, right? Whether are we within the budget or whether we exceeded the budget. So those kind of informations should be portrayed and is always required by the employers. So we need to be prepared to deliver that kind of deliverable as well. The other one is the quantifications and costings. That's basically the quantity takeoffs and all. We also need to understand the standard method of measurements applicable in the industry, how we can measure the quantities, which standard method of measurement that we need to use it, then how we can cost it, how we can estimate it, what sort of rules that we are using it. All right, so where do we get the rates and the benchmark information? So there are various things that we can talk about it. And the building information modeling, the BIM, is a kind of an advanced areas which is highly assisting the quantity service industry, which we can also talk in the other sessions in detail. And the commercial managements of the construction, managing the entire commercial aspects of the construction. And also we have a cost plannings roles in the design stage and the design economics as well. So, I mean, this is a vast areas. This is just kind of a draw map where you can understand what are the basic and the major competencies that we should be thorough or we should be learned so that we can perform in the industry well. Okay. Not only these competencies, there are other competencies as well, which if we are preparing the RICS assessment for the professional competency APC pathway, you will understand more competencies that you need to be well versed in so that you can become a chartered surveyor, which also we will talk later about today. Right. How to acquire the academic qualifications? It's very simple. We all know that we need to have first we need to start with some sort of a diploma, and then we need to excel from there until the degree. So the degree, the bachelor degree, is more than enough to become a quantity service and to perform your perform in the Middle East industry. That's absolutely fine. But if you need to enhance your qualifications, academic qualification, you can do the master's degrees as well. But it depends where you are trying to get the job opportunities. Say, for an example, you're just looking the jobs in the contractors or the subcontractors. They are not much bothered about your educational qualification, whether it should be a degree or master or so on, right? So what they need is whether this guy is able to perform the day-to-day task. Is he competent enough to perform as a quantity surveyor? That's enough. So probably some good QSs are still performing in the industry with their diplomas and the high national diplomas or the diplomas equivalent to the high national diplomas. But when you are looking for a job in the consultants industry, definitely the consultants require, or the consultants firm always request or they require at least the degree qualification from the quantity surveys. It has the meaning because depends on the projects, depends on the role and the client's requirement for that particular consultants. They emphasize the requirements, academic requirements. So mostly you can see that, you know, if you don't have a degree, it's quite hard to get the jobs in the consultants industry, except some other special circumstances where you may have a diplomas, but you have a charterships. If you become an RSCS or if you become another chartered, and if you have a vast experience in the industry and you are well expert, probably, yeah, you can get a job opportunities. That's fine. So the important factor here is if you are choosing a program, you should be you should ensure that, you know, the qualification or the program is accredited from the relevant body. Say, for an example, you are choosing a degree program. Just ensure that the degree that you are choosing, which is a BSc or BSc Honors in Quantity Surveying, is accredited by the RICS. RICS is the body we call as the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveys from the UK. So they are the body is giving the charterships to the quantity surveys, and also they are the body is well known in the Middle East industries as well, saying that they are recognizing the qualifications like a degree qualification as well. Okay, so if you are choosing a degree program, so you should be checking whether the program is accredited by the RICS. Similarly, there are other professional bodies also recognize the qualifications, but the RICS is most preferred, you know, if they're accredited one degree program which is well recognized in the industry. Okay. Right. So is degree enough to perform as a professional quantity surveyors in the industry? The answer is no. Degree is just only giving us a theory or the academical qualifications. But as we all know that just learning the theory is not enough for us to practice as a professional quantity surveyor. Maybe in the early stage, initial stage, yeah, it's fine. So we can start as an apprenticeship, or maybe a junior QS, or maybe a trainee QS. Okay, that's fine. But if you want to perform as a good QS or the professional QS, or if you want to earn more money in the market, you need to enhance your professional qualifications. So how we can enhance the professional qualification? There are different ways on which you can enhance it. So the most preferred way is most recognized and accredited pathway in the industry, in the Middle East industry, is the RICS assessment for professional competency, APC pathway. What will happen in this pathway? You to become a chartered quantity surveyor or to become a chartered surveyor from RICS, then you need to follow this RICS APC pathway, and you need to get trained through that pathway to get the membership of RICS, which is we call as a chartered quantity surveyor. Okay, so if you become a chartered in quantity survey, yeah, it's well recognized. Industry knows that you have the required skill set and the competencies to perform as a professional quantity surveyor. So simply they can hire you and give you good remunerations. Similar to the RICS, there is another professional body, Chartered Institute of Builders. That's also from the UK. So you can get the membership of that. That also, you know, the partly recognized in the industry nowadays. So if you become a member of CIOB, then you have a good opportunity to get the jobs in the Middle East industry. So these are the two areas where you can focus in the initial stage to increase your professional qualifications. The Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, that's we call it the CIRB, that membership is some kind of an advanced membership in addition to this two. So basically the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators focus on giving the memberships and the credential to the professionals who can practice as arbitrators or dispute resolution personals and things like that. So I mean, first you need to focus on these two. If you are acquired this qualification, then you may proceed with the membership of Chartered Institute of Arbitrators. That will give an extra and additional qualification and the skill sets which you can perform in the industry. In addition to this, there is one professional body called AACE International. This is from the USA. They also have sort of a credential certification programs, such as certified cost professional, certified estimation professional, and the planning and scheduling professional. These are highly popular in the Middle East, that also recognized by some of the employers and the clients as well. You have an options, but most preferred qualification is the RICS qualifications. Right. So if you get these all memberships and the credentials, your learning is your learning will not be stopped, right? So because once you get your professional qualification, you have to always sharpen your qualifications, and you have to reiterate and learn the things again and again. How we can do that one? That's through the CPD programs. What the CPD programs will do? CPD programs focus on a certain skill sets. Say, for an example, I've just put all those 7 competencies. Maybe one CPD program covers part of one competency. Okay, so in that CPD program, you can learn a lot, as the CPD programs always deliver by the industrial professionals. Industrial professional means who have the academic qualification as well as the highly highly experienced professionals in the industry. So what they will deliver it basically is not only the theory, but also the practical components of that particular competency. Okay, so you can learn practically how you can perform uh, as a professional quantity service. So CPDs are really important. You need to focus CPDs throughout your long life learnings. Okay, there are other seminars also. That's also part of the CPDs. It's delivered as a seminar. That's from the relevant professional bodies or from the other specialized institutions. So you can attend those programs that will also give you more insight of the professions and the competencies as well. So these are the areas where you need to improve your professional qualification, and also you have to maintain the qualification. Another thing that I need to emphasize here, even though you become a chartered from RICS, say for an example, to maintain the charterships, the RICS always require to each candidates or each chartered professional to maintain a certain number of CPD hours in a year. So if you don't have it, or if you don't prove that you have already obtained the required number of hours CPD, you are unable to renew your membership for the next year. So why those professional bodies are emphasizing is because you have to always do your long life learning in order to remember and reiterate your professional competencies, and also you can learn more and more even from the CPDs in terms of the practical applications as well. Okay. Right. So what B-TIC can help each professionals? So B-TIC basically is a highly qualified institutions. As you can see, they have delivered a lot of programs, and now, I mean, with the collaborations, B-TIC is planning to deliver some sort of QS related programs as well, diploma in quant surveying, and also we are planning to tailor-made a program for the young quantity surveyors who can perform their their interviews to get the dream jobs. Say, for an example, there are many people who are visiting Saudi Arabia. I've seen a lot of people. I can see that, on a daily basis, number of young professionals are visiting there. But the question is, how are they competent to tackle the interviews? Because in the Middle East, the project natures are, the massive. It's a giga projects, and also you can see that the professional in the Middle East industry is, very sound. So if you go to an interview, you could see a lot of highly experienced professional in the panel. It's not only the one, there may be 2 or maybe more than 2 professionals who interview, and also their questions are focusing on the competencies. So how to successful in our interview? That's kind of a program we are going to tailor-made it. We will inform you later. It's not very soon, I believe. But I think you can get more information from B-TIC with regards to this. And also we are planning CPD programs in each competencies or part of each competency. So that also will help the professionals to prepare for the interview as well as to prepare for their chartership programs as well. So here you should be very careful when you're choosing the CPD programs. You should be very thorough that the program, who is the speaker delivering the programs. If the speaker is well good experience in the industry, yeah, you will get a lot of information from him in terms of the practical applications. Okay, so when you're choosing the programs, you can take this into consideration as well. There are some other courses also in the future, I guess, as I can understand. B-TIC is preparing. So I think they will inform all those in the due course of time when the schedule and how we are going to deliver these programs and so on. I think that's from my side. Hazir, I think we can take the questions to answer our candidates.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Firnaz, for your valuable information from A to Z. You have started from what QS is about, then the job market in the Middle East, specifically KSA. Then after that, we talked about this education, how do you start your education, then the professional membership as well, and the CPD, continuous professional development. Now, it is great. So now, before, I have a couple of questions to enhance this program, because we cannot deliver everything. We can only answer the question, then that's the easy way to let the audience know. So now, before I start my questions, can I open this forum to the audience? If you have any questions, please go ahead. You can on your mic. It is automatic now, one by one. If you have any questions on any topic related to this, you're welcome. Have a go, please.
Or if you'd like, you can type it. Is it compatible to receive
yes,
that?
Yes, it is
message?
possible. If you can't speak, you can chat on the chat box as well, so we can answer them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, Muhammad. I have a few questions to ask. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Muhammad.
Yes,
We can hear you.
Yeah. Well, there are people who converting, different field to this field, like quantity surveying. So what do you recommend? What is the next? What is the qualification they're gonna get? And they are moving to even Middle East to get a job. So even see some are in like not youngsters, like old age, like they are in a different field and convert to this field, and how they gonna fit into this field and quantity survey, and how they gonna face into an interview, and how they gonna prepare a CV. So these are some sort of question to ask. So how you recommend? What's your recommendation? How they gonna get into job market, and how they gonna work to the relevant field? So could you please explain some sort of this kind of?
Thank you, Mohammed. And I think you're talking about the switching careers. Now, these days we hear that people from different professions, like teachers, other whoever, they are to different areas. They want to switch to this one because people believe that this profession is highly paid and it's going to survive for so long. So now your question is, I understand your question is about if you switch your career from one to the other, being a teacher and give your no-pay holiday for 5 years, and then you take this profession. I heard cases like this as well. So is that what you mean? And then Firnaz, it's over to you now. I think that's the question he's having.
Yeah,
Or-
and one more thing, even they switch in, they don't have a like industrial experience or something like that. So how can they fit into the relevant industry, and how they're gonna work with this field also,
Right.
please?
Mohammed, yeah, okay. It's a very good question and a very interesting question as well. Thank you for asking this. Well, switching the career is not bad. I mean, you can switch the career if you want. I mean, it's really open. But the question here is, which is the same that you have asked us as well, how will they fit into the industry? So as long as, that's what we have explained it, as long as they have an academic qualification, all right, they are fit into the early stage of the career. Okay, regardless of their age, regardless of their previous professions, we can only see from the from the normal perspective, where if anyone wants to enhance their career in a different professions, of course they have to have an academic qualification. Without knowing what exactly we need to do it, we cannot do it. All right, so they need to excel the academic qualification first. If they are able to excel until the diploma or HND, probably they can pursue their career as an initial or the quantity service or assistant quantity service in the industry to enhance their experience. Okay, then they can excel if they wants to pursue further, if they are confident enough that they can perform their quantity serving skills in the market, and then they can enhance their academic qualification to the degree and so on. So the question here is, it is not something easy that, we say, for an example, if you take an example of accountant and who's been in the industry for 15 years, suddenly he wants to become a quantity service. He cannot become a professional quantity service in a night or even in the shortest time frame. Okay, so in reality, we even though we think that we can perform it next month as a quantity service, but that is not something advisable, that you can simply proceed without acquiring your required qualifications. So what will happen is, maybe we know that we can read some books and we thought that probably we can work on it, but at the end, if you have given a task to do it, you should know how to do it. So the books will just tell you that, say for an example, like a driving, it will tell you that you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. But in reality, if you know how to do it, then only you can do it, isn't it? So it is not something that you can simply pursue your career without acquiring the academic and professional qualification. I think that's my answer for this. If you have any further questions, following questions, I'm happy to answer, Mohammed.
Thank you very much, Firnaz. And I would add a couple of points based on my experience in here. Now, his question is basically switching career. Then if you switch from one career to another, if you are too late for it, let's say if you're in your late 30s or so, and if you switch it, you would be losing all the past experience that you have in your record, maybe lost. That's what it is. But it is highly possible, because we see people, they start late, and we see people, they don't figure out exactly what they are for. So if they're on the wrong profession, and if they want to switch it from that profession to the profession they're made for, it is highly possible. So you can go ahead with.
Yeah.
It doesn't take too long, because it's your ability, your passion. It is your career. If you think that I can do it, you can do it. You can play a better shot today if you practice only once or twice than an experienced player, because he may get out from that ball, but you may still play a good shot. There are cases that way, so it's highly possible, I would say. Right, thank you very much, Mohammed, for your question.
And one more, I don't know whether it's it's a relevant question or something. But when you apply for a job, we see PZ is more than 35 years old, and he's gonna apply for a job. So anyway, he need a experience, right? So he gonna put in a experience in CV? Because normally if he's at a 35, more than 35 years, but at least a 10 years experience, something like that, right? Otherwise, he can't apply for a job in this field. So how can we, prepare a CV like that? So I don't know, maybe it's a relevant question for this time, or I don't know, but I just thinking. So what do you see?
That's a
Well,
critical. Yeah. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
let me
Go ahead.
answer
Yes.
as it. Yeah, thanks. Well, if you are performing in the industry, or if you are a professional, qualified personnel, we are always bound to the ethics, right? Okay, so we can't put something in with 10 years of experience where we have not even obtained that the real experience in the industry. So the answer to this question is, you can't hide anything. You can't say that you have a 10 years of experience. At the end, the employer found that, or your company found that you are not fit into that's qualifications. Then actually, it's not good for both of you. So the best thing is, you should be honest, you should be transparent, and some companies like that one as well. I mean, if you could probably say that, I've started a new career, I would like to enhance my career. Oh, of course, you will get an opportunity, but not immediately like a high senior level, but you might get the required level of an opportunity to excel your career. So I would not suggest that you would need to prepare something which is against the ethics and the moral. Rather, you could probably say the fact. You could probably put your real um, qualifications. If you need to have some sort of experience, you can have it locally here, and you can put that experience in the CV.
Absolutely. And I have another point to add to this, if I'm right here. Now, your employers, they never look into your experience to hire you. They look into your experience. Use your experience to establish that what you can do. You use your experience of last 10 years, 15 years, to establish that what you have done and what you can do. That's all. But if you don't have such experience, there's a possibility that you can develop the skills to do what an experienced person can do. A 15 years of experienced person can do something, that you can develop that capacity, that skill set that you can do within a shorter period of time. So the challenge for you is to somehow get into the interview board to establish what you can do. So if you can find some mechanism for it to get into the interview board, you can establish yourself that I don't have experience, but I can do what a 15 years of guy can do in this industry. I can easily do this. I'm comfortable doing this. If you can establish this, job is there for you. There you go. Right. Any others, please?
There are a couple of questions, I think, on the chat box.
On the chat, please go ahead.
Let me see.
I can't see those.
All right. Okay. Umesh is asking, what is the procedure to get the RICS? I think first of all, I don't know, Umesh, where you are based in. If you are based in the Middle East, you need to approach RICS UAE. You can Google it. You can see the RICS UAE web address. If you want, we can share it also. You can get in touch with B-TIC. We can share it. So you can reach them with your CV. All right. They will advise you how you can progress with RICS qualifications. Okay. So there are different type of the pathways. Even the pathway is same. Say for an example, you need to pursue as a chartered quant survey, so you will go for the quantitative surveying pathway. But there are different categories. Okay, some people, they have RICS accredited degree, so they have a different requirements, I could say that. If you don't have an RICS, sorry, if you don't have an RICS qualifications, you have a different requirements. So it depends on your experience and your academic qualifications. They will advise you, and then they can proceed with them based on their advice. I hope we answer your question.
Thank you, Umesh. Any others, please?
Yeah, there is one. Muhammad Hanik is asking how to certify. How to
Yes,
certify.
Sajjad.
Excuse
Yes,
me,
Sajjad.
can I say?
Hi,
Yes,
Sajjad.
I'm a student from HNDE. HNDE means SLAT HNDE. I hope you know that the program is government sponsored program which is conducted by SLAT. It's an HNDE program, HNDE in civil engineering. I'm a current student of HNDE civil engineering, as well as many of my friends also have joined in this webinar, and I am asking these questions as a representative of them. Okay, first of all, I have a general question, and I have some more questions also. First of all, uh, so can you focus the job market of the quantity serving in the future, like after 15 years? Because since we started our HND in civil engineering course in 2019, the civil engineering job market is very high. Within the time period and in the present, the situations changed upside down. I have a doubt that the same thing will happen to the QS, or will not happen, because heard many of the QSs in Middle East, they are saying like now many of the QS candidates are in the Middle East, and the job market is getting lower. So that's my first question. And also the second question is, I'm the current student of HND in civil engineering now. Can I can I work as a quantity surveyor in Middle East? If can, what are the academic qualifications that I have to gain? So those are my initial two questions.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Sajjad. I think I can answer both of your questions. Hazir, you can add it if anything that you would like
Yeah,
to add.
please.
So the first question is, how is the quant surveying market in the Middle East? I think you are focusing in the Middle East, I guess. You have heard that there are some ups and downs in the industry. So I would say that I started my career. I'm a civil engineer. You could probably see that. I graduated in 2003. So I started my Middle East career in 2005. So now it's 2023. Okay. So I worked in Qatar and then I moved to Saudi at the moment. What I can see is quantity surveying market is not gone down anywhere, but only the developments in a certain country has a slowdown. I could say that the Qatar is, I think, at the moment temporarily slowed down their construction. Probably they might start kick off in the next year. Who knows? And Dubai, you still have an opportunity, but it looks like it's saturated. But still, there are opportunities for the quantity survey. When you talk about the KSA, it is, I would say personally, that is a ever-growing market because they focus for 2030 temporarily, but as you know that none the projects is not going to finish by 2030. It will go further, and they will start another vision and the strategies. As long as the
I learned
companies.
about another
Mhm.
15 years of extension from that Vision 2030, because they're not
Right.
going to complete that, and they're going to
Yeah,
have additional new projects. They're going to build the country for,
exactly,
I
exactly.
read so many articles on it.
Yeah,
Huge are coming on the way, contemplated to be started, and so on. So there
yeah,
is.
yeah, correct. So I can tell that the quantity surveying demand hasn't gone down. So you need to be very careful. Quantity surveying jobs and quantity surveys demand. Okay, if you have those skill sets, as we have already explained it, if you are a professional quantity surveyors, if you have a professional qualification, if you are good in performing your works, and if in the initial stage, if you could convince the interviewer you will definitely get the jobs and you can sustain in the market. That's how, including me, there are many professionals are still in the market and in the industry. So the quantity surveying profession is highly demand. I would say that. I don't think it will go down even in the near future. Okay, so what you need to focus is the second question. Probably this will help. If you have completed your degree, sorry, you have HND in civil engineering or something, right? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'm a current student of HND in civil engineering, which is conducted by SLIAT.
Right.
I know you know that
I think your voice is breaking, it looks like.
course about.
I think your voice is breaking. What I can understand is you are pursuing your HND at the moment. You can complete your HND, which is really good, that you have a civil engineering qualification as well. You can further enhance your qualification in the quantity surveying. We will have tailor-made programs that will just cover your civil engineering qualifications to become the quantity surveys qualifications in a different state. So probably I would suggest, you need to pursue some sort of an academic qualification in quantity survey, and then you can start your career. Either you could probably you can start your career as an entry quantity surveys, if you get an opportunity in the contractor side or subcontractor side, and then you can pursue your degree level or your conserving as well. It depends. Alternatively, also you could probably do some sort of a preparatory courses, short courses, and the CPD program, just to give confidence to your employer in the interview and even in the day-to-day, your working lives, to show that you are competent enough to pursue your career. So basically, you have a long route and you have a short route as well, but you have to complete one HND at least. Okay.
All right.
You'd
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Do
Thank you very
you
much.
provide any top-up degree courses in QS, sir? Shall we top up in your institute?
We'll answer that. Yeah, we'll answer that question. And thank you very much for your question. And thank you very much for your answer, Mr. Now, Firnaz was talking about that there is no impact of economic downturn. Economy goes down, comes up. That is usual. You have winters and summers, so it doesn't make any sense. You may go down today, you may come up definitely tomorrow. So we have the market that's going to survive as long as the world exists in here. Because we're not going to stop making babies and so on. We need markets, we need buildings, we need new cities, we need to build countries and so on. So there is no doubt about that. We're going to build the worlds. Now, I have a question here. You're talking about the QS market and so on. And QS people, they complain one thing, that some of them, they overwork, underpay. They work a lot and they get paid low. Because since the flooding, huge number of people are waiting for jobs, and the employers have a plus point in advantage that they can bargain. This is the price I can afford to pay. If you can work for this price, pay, otherwise get out. That's how it is. But in your experience, what is the price of a starter of a QS engineer? So please.
Yeah, it's also a good question. The remuneration or the salaries it depends on the qualifications and experience and also their skill sets. So I think I can just quote the Saudi market at the moment, but the figures can vary. I can just only give the range because it depends on the individuals who is able to convince the employer, and accordingly they can get the salaries. So I could say that in Saudi, for the quantity surveys who have very basic qualification, I can say a degree, say for an example, they've completed the degree and also they just have 1 or 2 years of experience, could start from at least 10,000 to 15,000 Saudi Arabian Riyal per month. Okay, so it depends. Sometimes some people might get less because um, how you can beat this market is with your skill sets and your interview performance. So first impression is the best impression. So if the employer interview you, you should have a confidence enough that you can bargain your salaries. Okay, so either it can be 10,000, or if you did very well and he's well impressed, you might go for a 15. Who knows? It depends on the project, depends on the location, and also depends on the companies. The salary may vary. Some companies will give an experienced one for certain amount, but that amount, some other companies can give it for freshers with 1 or 2 years of experience. It depends on their revenues. Okay, so we can't exactly or precisely say how much they can get it, but I'm just giving you a rough figures so that at least the young quantity surveys can understand how the potentials for the quantity service. If I take an example, one senior QS in my experience who got 40,000 real. Okay, just a senior QS experience, rigorous 10 years experience, and the same qualifications guy got 22,000 as well. So see the huge difference. So it depends on your performance and how you are selling your skills. Okay, that's the most important one. So that's why the interview preparation and the tailor-made course to prepare that interview is highly significant. We are going to plan for that as well. That will really give you a good source and sort of a pathway for you to land in your the dream career.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello.
I think there are. Mhm.
Hello.
Yeah.
I have one more question.
Sure.
So I have completed a civil degree from the state university, and also I have changed my career as a quantity surveyor. I mean, I have done a diploma to enter into Saudi market. So how can I go through it, sir? I mean, is there any openings for the freshers there?
Yeah, it's case by case, I can say that, but mostly the employers always expect the academic qualification plus certain years of experience. So some companies might look for the freshers, but if you say that you have a zero experience, but unlikely, the chances are very less. So, and also I think you really need to think about it and see that whether you, before you are going to the Middle East, at least you should have some sort of the country experience. If you can work here, or if you can do some sort of training in the quantity surveying while you are getting your qualifications or academic qualification, that will also help you to enhance your career in the Middle East. Middle East mostly, expect, even though the young quantity surveys, they expect at least a certain months of experience. All right, so I can't assure whether you can get it or not. Again, it depends on your skill sets and the interview performance. But however, to shortlist for the interview, the employers always look for experience. Okay, so you could probably get those experience in Sri Lanka, wherever, either it's a trainee or even you can work full-time or part-time. I don't know.
There is a question that local experience, like Sri Lankan experience or Indian experience, are they entertained in KSA? So you can add that point as well.
Yeah. I think, yeah, it's a good question. It's a good point. Azim. I think they recognize it, but it does not mean that, they recognize that you have worked in the industry, quantity surveying, but it does not mean that you will get a senior role in the Middle East if you have a local experience only. So it's common anywhere, even though if you go to the Europe or any other countries, they always expect for the land experience. So then only, they know that, you're well versed with the system, the construction markets here and so on. So it does not mean that they will neglect the Sri Lankan experience. They expect it, but you need to start with the early career in order to move to the senior roles.
All right, thank you very much. And there are a few questions on the chat box. Let me answer those as well. And there is a question that there are so many people to switch their career professions from some other to QS field. And do you have any courses? Absolutely, yes. We are trying to add some courses to our existing portfolio. We currently deliver master's MBA programs and business especially, and law as well. We do law and business programs at the moment. And we are trying to add these quantity surveying very soon within near future, I would say within a couple of months. And we will be updating those things to you. And can you please join our WhatsApp group so that we can share all those new developments in it. And let me write that WhatsApp group number here so that you can join us. So all the updates can be updated there. Let me write it at the end of the session. So that is one question. Another question is, that is for Mr. Firnaz. I got degree in physical science and HND QS. Can I follow RICS? I think we have answered that question, have we?
Yeah. So basically, you need to have an experience as well. Without the experience, because RICS is a chartership. Okay, so RICS is not a degree or a diploma program. It is charterships. Obtaining the chartership from RICS. Okay, that's the pathway that we discuss it. To get that one, at least you have a qualification, and you have an academic qualification and experience as well. So HND level, if you have an HND in QS, I'm sure that you should have at least a sufficient years of experience in the quantity survey in order to pursue your RSCS career. However, they may change their systems and their the types of the pathways. So I would suggest, you can approach to RICS Middle East with your CV so that they can advise you further. There are some other questions. Basically, I think they are asking about switching the careers, whether we have a diploma, HND, can we get a job in Middle East and all. It's as we discussed it earlier, it does not mean that you will not get a job. You may get it, but it depends where you are applying for. So if you're applying to the consultants and the developers, mostly the developers and the consultants are looking for the degree qualified professionals plus the experience. Okay, so you could probably focus on the contractors and subcontractors. You may apply for the developers as well and the consultant. There may be chances, but mostly, the market is highly saturated with many professionals who have come with a degree background. So you may need to compete with them. So just you could probably apply either sides, but I guess you can more focus on the contractors and the subcontractors in order to start your career in the Middle East, and then you can excel it further.
And one more question there is, which is about the other qualifications. If you have qualifications on human resource management or supply chain management, are they, let me read the question exactly. Do you need such questions, such qualifications, management, supply chain management, for a job? Can you please switch off the mic, whoever it is irritating, please? Right, sorry about that interruption. Now, should we have a qualification in human resource management, supply chain management, or supply chain management to get a job in Middle East with these quantity surveying? I believe that's the question. I think it is. Do you need any management qualification with these
to get the quantity surveying? Well, not necessarily, because those are the different stream. If you have a human resource qualification, you can work as a human resource manager or the other pathways. But as we explained earlier, to become a quantity surveyor, you need to have a qualification in the quantity survey. So either in diploma or HND or degree or so on. Okay, that's the most important one. You can avail it in Sri Lanka, or you can avail it in the abroad, or distance learning or online. I don't think so any issues on that. As long as you have your qualifications and you're good in working, you build up your interview skills. I think for early career sites, you can get the jobs.
Yeah, thank you very much. And there's another question, a specific question here. Can you explain the demand for oil and gas QS practice in Gulf countries?
Yeah, I mean there are demands for the oil and gas, but compared with if I take an example in Saudi Arabia, the oil and gas projects are not as booming as construction projects. Construction in the sense, excuse me, construction in the sense all those giga projects that we are talking about, where the massive resources are required, including quantity surveys. So if you have an oil and gas qualifications, if you are good in quantity surveying, there may be opportunities, because if you can try with the Aramco projects in Saudi Arabia, or if you want to go to Qatar, you could probably try the Qatar Petroleum, Ras Gas, Qatar Gas, and so on. But from my experience, the number of job opportunities are not as big as the construction industries at the moment. So I cannot say no. There may be opportunities. I think you need to try and see how it works. Apart, I don't know whether you are based in the Middle East or in the other countries. If you're trying oil and gas opportunities in Sri Lanka, I don't know how far that response would be. If you are in the Middle East, I'm sure that you might get something out of it.
Right, there is another question. Questions are coming one after the other. Is there any possibility to get jobs QS without degree, only having advanced technician diploma in City and Guilds level 5 IVQ? I'm eligible for top degree. Yeah, I can't afford to study degree in QS. What is the best recommendation?
Well, I can just tell you, I think the Ahmad asked this question. I mean, the market is really, really demanding for the QS. You need to compete with many other professionals in the industries as well. So, say for an example, there are a lot of degree holders are chasing a job where you are chasing that job as well. So the chances are to the degree holders. That's the obvious fact, But it does not mean that the non-degree holders, means the diploma holders, wouldn't get a job opportunities. You might get it, but we can't 100% guarantee. Just with the diploma only, you would be able to get job opportunities in the Middle East, especially in Saudi Arabia. As I can see, because I lived in that country, I've been living it, I can see that there are plenty of Sri Lankan QSs on a daily basis coming there and trying for the job. I'm sure I've physically seen, they all have a degree qualification, but still they are struggling to get the jobs. There could be various reasons. But I can say that, the market is highly focused on the degree holders. There are many people who are coming with a degree. So I think you need to compete with them. So that's something, a challenging part in your career. You could probably you can have your technical diploma, and you can get some experience in that particular QS professions. At the same time, you can do some sort of a top-up degree. So that will give you a degree plus the experience, which will give you the pathway to get your dream jobs in the Middle East. Hope I answered the question.
Right. There's another question here. Since I am an undergraduate of Bachelor's of Engineering Technology in Construction Technology, which is introduced in 2015, for me to work as a QS in KSA, is my degree enough with certificate level of QS to work as QS? Or do I need to do at least HND in QS while I'm having my degree? I think the question is lengthy, a little bit of confusion in the language. What I understand is this: he's having a degree in engineering technology and construction technology. That's his degree, bachelor's degree. But he wants to switch him as a quantity surveyor. So do I have to do a HND or some other course to do this?
Well, right. So if you have a bachelor degree, which is equivalent to our bachelor degree in Sri Lanka, okay, in engineering, which is a 4 years program, that can be recognized in the Middle East. So only the part is the experience. If I don't know whether you have an experience in that, I cannot see it properly. If you need to avail the experience actually. So that's the important part, since you have a degree in engineering. Alternatively, you could also probably do a quantity surveying course, which will give you an extra strength because you know what is quantity surveying from that course while you are working as a quantity surveyors. I mean, I would suggest, you can try with engineering degree plus the experience. You could also do some sort of extra course in the quantity surveying, which will give you more confidence to practice in that industry as well. It does not mean that if an engineer will not be recognized as a QS in the Middle East, they definitely recognize as long as your degree is 4 years degree, and which is recognized by the, I think in University Grant Commission here, I think. All right. So if that's the case, then it will be definitely accepted in that Middle East as well. However, you need to look into your experience in order to get the job opportunities there.
Right. Now, I think we have, I have something to add to this one. That usually in other fields like law, business, if you have a degree in one discipline, if you want to do a different discipline course, you can straight away start your master's. For example, if you have a law degree, LLB degree, then if you want to do a master's in business administration, MBA, you can do. And if you have a business degree, then if you want to do a master's in law, you can do. But how does that work in engineering, in QS field? Yeah, because if you have a degree in let's say some different technology, maybe some IT or something like that, if you want to do a master's, MSc project management in quantity surveying, there are courses that I've seen. So is it possible? There admission is possible. You can get admission. You can establish your because through interviews you can get admission to the university to study this masters in something related to QS. That's yes. But how about the recognition of this in the industry, in the market, job market?
Well, if you have, I think if you talk about the engineering, we should be very careful. There are certain engineerings are recognized to work as a quantity surveyor. If you have a civil engineering, yeah. If you have an electrical and mechanical engineering, you could probably still work as a quantity surveyor, as an MEP quantity surveyor or something in that areas. If you have experience in the if you have an experience in the if you have a qualification in the like an IT or something, it's quite difficult to work as a quantity surveyor because quantity surveyors mostly work in the construction industry, right? In the construction industry, you have a discipline electrical, you have a discipline mechanical, you have a civil, and even though you have some sort of network and ITs, the quantity surveys are mostly involved. Electrical, mechanical, engine quantity surveys can manage those small IT components as well. So most preferably, civil and electrical and mechanical engineers can pursue their careers as a quantity surveyors. But there is no hard and fast rule in the construction industry that an electrical quantity surveyor definitely need to do an MSc in quantity surveying in order to perform as a quantity surveyor. As engineers are widely recognized. However, if you have an electrical engineering degree, but you need to perform as a general quantity surveyor, because the general quantity surveys is mostly the civils part they always involve it, which has more number of job opportunities. Then probably you can do some sort of top up or the masters in the quantity surveying to pursue their career. I'm not sure I answered the question.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Hello.
Sir, I have questions.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, please.
Ahmed, go ahead, please.
Sir, I'm currently following High National Diploma in Quantity Surveying. Sir, this year it will be finished. I think if I finish the High National Diploma in Quantity Surveying, can you suggest the best place to do a degree program? Can you have any idea? Can you give me?
Yeah, let me answer this question before Firnaz. I think we cannot recommend any place officially because it may make some legal concerns for us. So only thing is you have to look into certain criterions of, let's say, if you want to be a RICS member, or if you want to get membership from some other professional bodies, you have to look into the recognition of the course and the university you select for your higher studies, which is recognized or listed by the professional body. Okay, and Firnaz can add the rest of it, please.
Excuse me.
Yeah, man, I think that's what we emphasized in our slides. As you can see that if you need to choose the program based on what we have discussed it today, that's the best way. So you need to ensure that the program or the degree which you are going to enroll is accredited by the relevant professional bodies, preferably RICS. That's the most recognized professions in the industry, including Middle East. So you need to ensure that your degree program is accredited by the RICS. So it's easy for you to pursue your RICS membership as well, because the degree is accredited by them. So the pathway is pretty short. You can become an RICS member. And also the employers are confident enough with your degree that it's been accredited by the well-known international professional body. So that's the first thing that you need to check if you go to any institutions or any universities or the college where you need to enroll your degree program. So that's the main point that we emphasize today, I think.
All right, thank you, Firnaz, and we hope we have answered your question. Now, the last question, I think. So I have a diploma in civil engineering and diploma in QS as well, but I have more than 10 years of experience in civil engineering industry in Qatar and Sri Lanka also. So how can I apply and a job in KSA as a QS?
Right. I'm not quite clear his experience in the engineering or in quantity surveying. I couldn't get his questions on the screen at the moment. If you have an engineering experience, it's a bit of a challenging part for you to apply as a quantity surveyor, because you have all throughout your career as an engineer. So you could probably apply as an engineer and see if there's good opportunities. Otherwise, I think you need to, as we mentioned, you need to start some sort of a bridging program to enhance your professional qualification and convince the interviewer to say that you can work as a quantity surveyor in that profession. So I can't exactly give the answer because I don't know his experience is in the engineering or quantity surveying. If he has an experience in quant surveying, it's pretty straightforward. You can apply through the the portals. I'm sure that you will get some response.
Firnaz, there's a question from one audience here. That is, has done the question 3 times. So let me answer him. He's so
All right.
desperate.
Okay. All right.
Please advise this question. What is the real situation in KSA? I'm working for a contractor now in Qatar as a QS. How about the opportunities for a contractor QS in KSA?
Okay. All right.
3 times repeated the question, so we have definitely answered.
Yeah. It's a good question as well. Somehow we missed that question. The opportunities with the contractor, as we said, there are those giga projects. You could see that the quantum of the projects and the extent of the works. So definitely there are a lot of constructions will go ahead in the future, even though they initially nowadays, I think it is not in the full swing in terms of the construction. So when it's in the peak, there are many contractors will be involved, and you would definitely get the contractors QS opportunities as well. At the moment, as I can see that, there are some giga projects are still in the design stage where the contractors are not on board. So it is quite hard you to find the contractor side QS job. But down the line, projects, the design will be converted into construction. So at that stage, you will get more job opportunities.
Right. I think time is running out. We'll take one more question and we wrap up. The question is, we have answered some of the questions already anyway. There's a question before we come to Middle East with QS degree, which type of skill we need to know very well. So that's already answered. You can listen to the recordings of this. We'll be providing these recordings hopefully tomorrow, so you can have a listen and watch this, so you can have an idea. Now, the last question that I would select from here is, I have completed advanced diploma in civil engineering, IVQ 5 in City and Guilds. Now I'm going for training. I have a degree top up as a quantity surveyor too. I have many options. I'm now going abroad to do business and continue my studies. If not, I'll still need another course in this regard. Can you give me a planning advice on what to do? I would rephrase that question. He's having a qualification, diploma, advanced diploma in civil engineering from City and Guilds IVQ 5, and he's going for training as well, and he's having his QS quantity surveyor top-up degree also, and he's going for business abroad. Now his question is, I think, what is the next level of studies that I could do, or what is the next step that I could take?
All right. I think that depends on his objectives. Basically, if he wants to pursue his career as a quantity surveyor, because he has already had a degree in quant surveying, but I think you need to have some sort of an experience or sort of bridging skills that prove the employer that you are good to work in this quant surveying profession. For that, you can do some sort of an extra CPD programs, and the programs like specialized customized diploma programs, and also preparing for the interviews sessions and all the stuff that might help you to pursue your career as a quantity surveyor. I think his question is very specific to get some sort of an advice how he can pursue his career in the quant surveying. If he wish to pursue his career in a different stream, probably it depends on that stream's expectation in this industry, I think. So we can't exactly answer a specific. We can exactly give a specific answer to these questions, but I have just presumed that he's looking for some sort of advice to pursue his career in the quant surveying.
All right, so thank you very much, audience from all over the world, for joining us today in B-TIC Talks on a special topic, and we had actually zeroed out time Sorry to keep you waiting. Anyway, it was a learning process. Then we hope to take many. Yeah, there is a question. Please reply.
But
Can we take that?
yeah, just popped up. Let me see.
Yeah, please reply. Which question is that?
iPhone.
Okay, I think this is the last question. But
Right.
nowadays there is no response from consultants for the contractors' background candidates. Yeah. Okay. Is it true? Even more than 15 years of experience in the constructor sites.
I think he did mention his academic qualifications. If he has a degree, plus he has a 15 years of contractor side experience in quantity surveying, he can get a job opportunities. He can get through it. But again, you need to see what sort of areas that you are focusing it on, where you are applying for those qualification. I mean, the job opportunities. Even in the consultants, particularly for a consultant QS job for the post contract, like, you know, if you are applying for a project management consultant where you need to pursue as a post contract quantity surveys, then definitely they would expect some sort of a consultancy background experience. But if you have a contractor's experience, but you are applying for a pre-contract roles in the consultants, like an estimations, cost plannings, or some sort of a similar BOQs and procurement stuff like that, definitely they would consider that contractor's experience. The reason why is the pre-contract roles, most of the cases, the consultants don't need to get an approval from the employer or the clients prior to bring candidates on board to the project. Okay, so it is within the, it's like we normally call it the core team. So you work in the office, right, for a different projects. So you are not very project specific, or even though there may be some cases where you are project specific, it does not mean that you will work in the project site. You will work from the head office with the team as a team member, but you will deliver the task to the project. So where that's called the core team. So the core teams mostly only the key personnels need an approval from the client, but not all the QSs and SQSs in most of the cases. So in that case, you can apply any pre-contract jobs for the consultants firm. However, you need to ensure that, you know, the job roles are just matching with your CVs and your qualifications. If you have entire post-contract experience where you are applying for pre-contract, it won't suit, right? So you need to think about that one, where you are applying it. Apart from that, there are also other contractors on board in the kingdom. So you could probably focus on that as well. The important is you need to a foothold into the KSA market. If you get a job, first job, in KSA, if you are in KSA, it's easy for you to move to the other jobs, either in consultants or the developer side. So you need to think about how you can penetrate or enter into the KSA market, which route is easiest for you to get your dream jobs in.
Right. So thank you very much, Mr. Firnaz, for taking your valuable time to share all of your experience and your authority here in this information session. And then we have received messages from people thanking Mr. Firnaz for his advice and sharing his knowledge. And it's great help of you today. And meantime, I would like to share the WhatsApp number. I have actually shared it on the chat box. So we might be having, not might be, we will be definitely having different versions of this program, of this quantity surveying and rest of the things in the future. So please join us on the group, so that's easy for us to share the information. We'll be sharing it on the Facebook and the other informative social as well. But however, if you can join us on the WhatsApp, it's easy for us. So the number is 0777 201515. If you send a WhatsApp message, we'll send the WhatsApp link so that you can join the group. 0777 201515. That's the number. Send us a WhatsApp message, and we would be joining you. We would be sending you the WhatsApp group link. So you just click the link and you join the group. So you'll be getting all the updates of what's happening in the QS market and the rest of it. So that is it from me. Firnaz, any
Yeah.
words to finally?
Well, yeah, it's, I think, first of all, I need to thank all the participants, they have shown their encouragements, and they stay until the end of the sessions, even though the session has been extended a little bit longer than the stated durations or the hours. Thank you so much for your patience. And please bear with us. We are unfortunately unable to answer all the questions within the shortest time frame. If you have any specific questions which you need our answers or response, please reach to B-TIC so that we can answer it in detail. If you need any further advice or in your career enhancement, of course, we can also give you like RICS membership or CIOB memberships informations and all. We'll try to share that informations through different through, I mean, in the future, I think probably through B-TICs, I guess. So thank you, Hazir, for organizing this wonderful program, or the short, I can say it's a short, but it's been long now. Anyway, I hope that we have delivered a message and the awareness of the quant serving and the Middle East, and or especially for the KSA market insights. Hopefully we'll do some other programs in the futures, which is purely tailor-made to the professionals' requirements to enhance their skill set and the competencies. We will come, I mean, the B-TIC will communicate with you guys in the futures. Meantime, also we can give you some sort of support through that WhatsApp link. If you have any questions, also you can post it so that we can answer it. Finally, thank you so much for all of you. Be patient so far, and I would like to wish all the aspirant candidates who would like to get their jobs in the Middle East or elsewhere. Wish you all the best, and try your level best and enhance your career, and do some sort of bridging program which will actually give you more confidence to manage your interviews and get the dream jobs very soon. All the best. Wish you all the best. Good night, good evening, good afternoon. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Let me join with Mr. Firnaz as well to wish all of you to be very successful in your profession, in your career, in your QS journey. And we see you all in near future in a program on another Sunday. Have a great evening, have a great day, great morning. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Aziz. Thanks for your wishes, and all the best to you as well. Have a good day, good evening, good night. See you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye for now.